There's a question about why young people aren't dating quite so much at the moment. A study showed that 86% of women say they want a man to make the first move. A different study said that 50% of men say that they're afraid of making the first move for being seen as creepy. Another study said that 20% of Gen Zers say that a man approaching a woman sometimes or always constitutes harassment. So you have a world in which women are scared of being approached, men are scared of doing the approaching. People will judge many men, at least 1 in 5 men that do that, as being harassers. But everybody understands that if the guys don't make the first move, nothing's going to happen. If guys do make the first move, they're scared of being Me Too'd. Girls are scared of being approached by guys that they don't know, but also still know that they need the guys to make the first move 86% of the time, because that's the percentage. I was like, isn't that fucking interesting?
I want you to post about dating in your 40s. Places for people to hang out. Heck, play matchmaker yourself. We all know the apps are stale. I'm gonna get in so much trouble for this. 4 years ago, I tried hosting a singles event in Vegas. I tried playing matchmaker. Would you like to know what happened? The same thing that happens on the dating apps. All the girls went after the same 2 or 3 guys and ignored all the other guys there who weren't as perfect or handsome or rich as the other guys. It's the same reason that dating apps are stale. Girls don't want guys on their level. They want guys who are better. But all the guys who are better are already married because girls don't let those kind of men go. They lock them down in their 20s, which means the only men who are going to show up to a dating event are the same men who are on the dating app. They're either guys that you guys didn't want to marry in your 20s, or they're guys who like to take advantage of how desperate single women are once they reach their 30s and 40s. That's it. That's who you're going to get. And you guys won't accept that, and you're going to call me an asshole, which is why I'll never do a dating event again until you guys are willing to accept reality and accept where your standards might be nowadays. Dating is going to continue to be impossible, whether I set it up or somebody else sets it up. It'll end up like all those single black women events that they've been throwing in Philly and Atlanta. You're gonna have a bunch of girls with college degrees and in their 30s showing up looking for a partner on their level. And maybe a couple guys will show up to take advantage of that, but everybody else is just gonna stay at home and play video games and not deal with the nonsense.
Modern women are continuing to ask men to step up over and over again. Step up, be here, do that, say this, be this person, act like this, right? And it's funny because modern women seem to be the only ones in dating that are able to make these types of demands. Well, I want you to be over here. I want you to do this. And when a man says, okay, well, I would like my woman to act a certain way, be a certain way, treat me a certain way, then all of a sudden it's a problem. All of a sudden you're misogynistic. All of a sudden that's the patriarchy speaking up all up in you, running all up and through you. We got to stop that.
Men do not come back because they have changed, and they don't come back because they miss you even. They come back because they have beta tested every other woman in town and realized what you knew from the jump. None of these other women gotta like you. Do not confuse him coming back for growth. It's usually loneliness, with a little bit of desperation, and boredom even. You don't want a man who comes back. You want a man who never leaves in the first place. Because if you take him back, mark my words, you are only increasing the chances that he's going to do it again. Because you're indirectly greenlighting that it's okay for him to come and go. And this isn't even about him. This is about what you deserve as a woman. You need to always hold your self-respect higher than your attraction and love for any man. Because think of the men that you loved like 2-3 years ago. They probably mean nothing to you now. And that's my point. The only person you are going to have your entire life is you. Meaning men will come and go, but the relationship you have with yourself, that is for life, baby. A man who has to test replacements to value you is not the one. If he left once, believe the pattern, not the apology.
Men can feel how you feel about yourself. So if you want a highly masculine man that's confident, that provides, that protects, that's very confident in his career, he has the money he wants to give to you, and there is an ounce of you that questions your self-worth, that you have not learned the art of receiving or softening, you're trying to still match his energy, you're trying to earn his love, you're people pleasing, you're putting on a little bit of a performance, like, ooh, don't send a text like that, it's too much, don't use that emoji. Okay, make sure you, whatever that energy is, that's not prize energy, he can feel it. Just as a woman has intuition, men do too. When you're on a date and you're feeling, is this man for me? He's doing the same for you. When you step into prize energy, authentic, high self-worth, integrated feminine energy where you are receiving, but you are in so much of your power, you will attract a quality of men that will test your confidence. And in those moments that you can maintain eye contact, you don't get too attached, you don't start pedestaling him when he starts to give to you and provide for you and want to care for you, and you still stay in that softness, which is your power, that is when you have integrated prize energy. Until then, if you are wavering and you're, oh my God, but you're still going to struggle with love until you allocate the time, the energy, the resources to becoming this woman. You will still have problems in your love life.
You know, a lot of these modern women, they do things because somebody else tells them to. Some things are genuinely their idea, but they do things because their friend said so, they're in a group, mama said so, daddy said so. And you know, I want to be careful because it's not bad to listen to counsel, right? Especially for the people that actually know you. But sometimes they say things to try to protect you and they're really thinking about themselves. Does that make sense? So you've kind of got to listen to what they're saying and understand that they want the best for you, hopefully, but then also say, where do I want my life to go? Because a lot of these women, they want to be married. At some point in time, they don't want to rush into it, but they do want to be in a relationship. You listening to your friend talk about how terrible the man is when the man has almost quite literally everything that you're looking for. He's stable, good job, friends, takes you out, plans dates. Oh, I don't know what it is about him. There's nothing about him. And you don't need to be worried about that. So I'm going to sit you off to the side. We can go out for drinks here and there, but me and him going to get to know each other.
In relationships, women are reciprocators, not initiators. You lead, she follows. You put in effort, she returns it. You make her feel good, she mirrors it. That's the only way it works. All right? She's not going to text you first, plan the dates, remind you to stop being emotionally ignorant. That's your job, bro. You know, figure it out. All right? You want consistency from her? Be consistent first. You want loyalty? Show up like a man who's actually worth being loyal to. All right? You want softness? Don't lead with chaos. She reacts to what you give her. Right? You give her peace, she multiplies it. You give her games, she hands you back confusion and heals. All right? That's why she's dry with you. All right? You gave her crumbs and expected a cake. I mean, you got to give her the right ingredients. Right? Be intentional, be clear, be the kind of man she can safely fall into, or don't be surprised when she ghosts you like you never existed. Right? You set the tone, she follows the rhythm. Let's dance.
What's going on, fellas? Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment down below. Let's get back to the video.
Waiting to be approached is a strategy. It's just a losing one. And most women doing it have been waiting since 2019. Here's the reality. The man that you locked eyes with across the room, he definitely noticed you. He wanted to come over and he talked himself out of it because he wasn't sure. One sentence from you, would have changed the whole trajectory of the evening. You don't have to ask him out. You don't have to do anything big. You just have to give a man something to work with. I like your jacket. Is this seat taken? Literally anything. The door just has to be open 1 inch and he will kick it down. The women that say that approaching men is very desperate are the same women who are single. Or they're with men that chose them and they just settled for them. And they're confused why they're in a bad relationship. Being confident is not desperate. Sitting in silence and waiting to get chosen is not feminine energy. It's just fear with a prettier name.
I think here's what modern women, they don't seem to get is, you know, you have a guy that's texting you good morning. The man is, you know, picking up the tab a lot of times. He's planning the dates and all that other stuff. You know, he some of these guys are driving across town. Some of these guys are driving to another city. I want to reiterate, they're picking up the tab. I mean, paying for everything, asking follow-up questions, remembering everything that you said. But for some reason, You think that you don't have to do anything in a relationship. Number one. Number two, in a lot of those situations, modern women will straight up friend zone that guy. Will straight up friend zone him. The man did everything that you were, asking him to do, and then you'll friend zone him. You tell me how that's gonna work. You tell me who you gonna find that's gonna do everything that man was doing for you, and be happy to do it. That's what they think until 30 rolls around. Oh, I got time. 35 rolls around. Oh, I got time. I can extend my time if I freeze my eggs. 35, 36, 37, 38, 40 rolls around. And now you're like, dang. I recently heard one woman say, I'm kind of the black sheep of the family. I think she was like 50 or almost 50. I'm the black sheep of the family. I'm always messing stuff up. I thought I'd be married by now, but I'm messing up everything. Everybody else is married, and me being single is kind of destroying basically the whole vibe, which, not really. You don't need to be rushing into things just because you feel like you're the odd man out or you're the third wheel. That's the quickest way to get into trouble, right? But we can say that you've probably been messing around and wasting time in your younger years, and maybe that did contribute to you being in the position that you're in today.
Women that have mistreated you and done you wrong will check in with you to see if you're upset with them. Listen to my words on this. They want to know. They want to know what they can get away with, and if you're going to bring up the disrespect that they've shown you. They'll make it really casual, like, hey, how was your week? Blah, 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 and keep everything very superficial and light. It's going to feel a little awkward, a little tense. What that is she's wondering if you're going to allow whatever behavior that she has just exposed to you to continue on. I'm going to tell you right now, you don't point out the things that she did to be inconsiderate. You don't point out the things that she did to be hurtful to you, especially if you're not in a committed relationship with this woman. You just be a nice, go-lucky guy, act like you could roll it off your shoulders, all is well, but you take a mental note if this woman is even worthy of your time in the future. And if not, you cut her off, you don't tell her why, you just say that you guys don't have a good fit and you move on. But you do not tell her, this, and this you did made me feel this way. It comes off very insecure, and she'll definitely use it against you.
You might disagree with me, but Love is Alive and Chivalry is, and I have 3 books that are going to show that. Now, man, I need you to pay extra attention to these books because these are the blueprints to make your wife, girlfriend, or significant other extra happy. Number 1, Pride and Prejudice. Mr. Darcy is the blueprint of what not to do when making a first impression, but his redemption arc is one of the strongest in romantic literature that I've ever read. In my opinion, Mr. Darcy teaches us the importance of authenticity and the pursuit of somebody that you genuinely love. This can be seen through his first proposal all the way up to his second proposal when Elizabeth and him finally get married. If you want your wife or your girlfriend to feel loved and pursued, Mr. Darcy's a good place to start. Next up, I'm gonna go with another Jane Austen character. We're gonna go with Captain Wentworth from Persuasion. Now, I do need to preface by saying, yes, he was a huge at the beginning and middle of the story when he got rejected by Anne's family for not being wealthy enough, but his come up is something great. You see, it's through Wentworth's story that we get this new perspective of love through merit and not love through monetary value. And yeah, Wentworth acts like a huge throughout most of the book, but at the very end, he lays down all of his emotions in this beautifully famous letter to Anne, and that wins her for him. So at the end of the day, guys, I guess if you want to win the heart of your significant other, your wife, your girlfriend, the girl you've been looking at across class, write her a letter. Girls love letters. And finally, you probably didn't see this one coming because I didn't see it coming either. We have Edward Cullen from Twilight. Yes, I know, it's Twilight, but just hear me out. Edward is willing to risk it all and divulge the deepest, darkest, most intimate parts of himself because he loves Bella. He is honest, he is caring, and he is fiercely loving, and that is something that we don't see a lot of in today's books. The lesson that we could take away from Edward is just being 100% authentic, being yourself, letting other people, or the people that you specifically care about, see the real you. That's what Edward does for Bella, and I think that's what we should do for the women in our lives that we love. Well, there you go, 3 examples that Love is Alive and Chivalry is. Let me know if I missed any down below.
A lot of these modern women make dating impossible, right? I think men just get tired of doing everything on the date, having to plan it. If you're not careful with a lot of these modern women, You can end up being 10, 15 years into the relationship, and you've been pretty much doing everything. Pretty much. I plan the dates, I cook, I clean, I go to work, take care of the kids. I'm involved. I might not do every single thing, but I have my hand in every single part of the relationship. Cooking, cleaning, taking out the trash, fixing the cars. You take the kids to soccer practice, I take the kids to soccer practice too. You cook dinner, I cook dinner too. Take the kids to doctor's appointments and keep them when they're sick, I do the same thing. So there's a lot of men out there that while these modern women are saying that men are not involved, they actually are. In a lot of ways, they're actually more involved than the woman is. And when you bring that to her attention, she's like, yeah, actually, that's how it's supposed to be. You're supposed to be doing way more work than me. What? Yeah, you're the leader of the home. So you do way more work than me. That gives me time to be free and be creative. Right, but what are you doing in your time of being creative? I'm creatively selecting more shows to watch. I'm creatively trying to figure out how to make your life harder.
If a man says he's not ready to label the relationship, it's not because he's confused. It's because labeling the relationship would cost him something. Men don't avoid labels because we don't know what we feel. We avoid labels because it requires consistency, accountability, and sacrifice that we're not willing to give. A title means expectations. It means showing up on hard days. It means choosing you even when other options still exist. And if he benefits from your loyalty, your time, your body, your emotional support without the responsibility, there's no incentive to change the arrangement. Not ready usually translates to, I like what you provide, but I don't want to be held to the standard that comes with claiming you. Because when a man is serious, the label doesn't feel like pressure. It feels like protection. Men label what they don't want to lose. They hesitate when they're still deciding if access to you is temporary. And the most important part, if he knows you're staying without a label, he's already made his decision. He just hasn't said it out loud yet. So if you're waiting on a title, don't ask why he's not ready. Ask yourself why you're waiting on a role that doesn't match your value. Because the right man doesn't stall, he secures. Peace and love. Like and follow.
A lot of these modern women, whether you're a single mother or it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's all going to be the same, right? It's just that a lot of times single mothers they're a little bit more, some of these women, not all women, but some of these women, they're a little bit more, they have a heightened, and I understand it, heightened awareness of the things that are going on around them, right? But even at that, you still have to audition for the man as well. A lot of times a lot of these modern women are like, well, a man has to audition for me. He has to do X, Y, and Z. He has to show me this, and this. And sometimes they be asking a man to do stuff that has nothing to do with dating or courting or anything. That's just what I wanted, right? So you have a lot of modern women out here. Well, I got to make sure that this is in line, and I'm a single mother, so I have standards, and my standards are even higher, and this and that. But really, honestly and truly, and this is why I mention it, you look at their standards, and really it's not really a higher standard. Sometimes it's just desperation. Sometimes it's just, I really need this. I really want this in my life. I really don't want to work anymore, right? So I need a man to make enough so I can take a step back. Well, do you plan on having any other kids? No. Well, what step back are you going to be taking? You don't plan on having any other kids. That's your kid. He'll come in and be a father figure and be the man of the house. He doesn't need to pay for you. Like, you don't need to become a stay-at-home mom. But they be asking for things. They be, I want more from this next relationship. And they be trying to put more pressure on a man to do stuff that they can actually do themselves. If they stop being lazy or stop wanting to be mentally lazy, well, I want to do this now. No. You need to continue the stuff that you are doing and stop trying to find a man and dump all your problems on, whether it's financially, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. You need to continue to handle your.
I would never ask a woman who I'm like, wow, like she's gorgeous. She seems really cool. Like I could see some potential here. I would never risk asking her on a coffee date as a first date because you want a man that wants to impress you off the bat, right? So if I'm going coffee, that means that I'm unsure if I even find you like attractive, in my opinion, because it's kind of like I need to feel this out. Coffee days, I need to feel this out because I'm unsure if I want to invest more time, energy, money.
I don't know. It communicates to me. You're just not that into me.
I agree.
You know, you're just like, I'll spend $3 on this.
I 100% agree.
I saw women being like, yeah, but I want to do a vibe check. And to your point, yeah, women want to do a vibe check.
Yes.
You kind of want the guy, whether he's right about you or not, you kind of want the guy that's like, I think you're hot and you seem cool from the one time we met or from the app, whatever. Like the women can be like, I want to do a vibe check.
That's fine.
But you should want a guy that's excited about you from the jump.
Exactly.
Because women don't grow on men.
Yes.
Men grow on women.
Correct. That's exactly my point. If you as a woman want a vibe check coffee date, I'm okay with that.
100%.
If you want to do that because it makes you feel more comfortable with somebody during the day before you go out at night with a guy for safety reasons, like I'm totally on board with that. But I'm telling you what it means if a guy asks you on a coffee date.
I think in all honesty, a lot of these modern women are taking dating advice and relationship advice. They're taking dating advice and relationship advice from these women whose marriages have failed, from these women whose relationships have failed multiple times. These women who are applying bitter lessons to men who haven't done anything. That's who you're taking advice from. You got a best friend out here that got divorced last year, talking about men are trash, they're terrible, and this is what he used to do to me. And somebody's sitting back like, that's actually not a bad thing. That's a good thing. Yeah, but you know, he was doing this, this, and this. No, those are all good things too. Maybe you're the problem. No, it could never be me. And if somebody suggests that I'm a terrible person, then they need to get from around me. It's pretty much how it goes. And that's the person that you're friends with. Anytime somebody tries to hold them accountable for the things that they did, it's always somebody else's fault. Always somebody else's fault. He did me wrong. I thought he was true. He ran out of my life, and now I'm so through with him. Sorry. Anyways, these modern women are playing games. Stop listening to these modern women who don't know what the heck they're talking about. Now, I do agree. Just because you had a failed relationship, don't mean that you can't provide some advice. Don't mean you can't say, hey, now watch out for this or look out for that. You can say that. But a lot of these modern women are not level-headed. They're not coming from a place of, oh, well, you know, just kind of look out for this, you know, and you're just kind of listening and then giving feedback. They hear a little bit, yeah, leave him alone. Oh. And you let that man go. And then you have to separate yourself months later when that man says, hey, whatever happened to us? And then you have to think by yourself because your friend is off doing whatever she's doing. You have to think, I don't know what happened to us. Why did we stop talking? I don't know. You said something about, you know, I was doing some weird stuff and I never understood that. And I tried to ask you about it, but you would never answer my call. So I didn't get it. Huh. Okay, well, yeah, I don't see why we can't go out on a date and just to see. And this time she don't tell her girlfriend about it. And they sit and talk and it's like, why did we ever break up? Why did we stop talking? Why did we ever stop talking? I don't know. And then you see them 2 years down the line be married. Actually married. Because there was nothing wrong. It's just that she was bitter and she was projecting what happened to her and the stuff that she got herself into onto you. Stop listening to that. Stop listening to it. At the very least, listen analyze it, and they say, well, that don't apply to me. Okay. And throw it away. Stop letting these bitter women ruin your relationship.
There is nobody on this planet more single, pound for pound most DMs sent, most flirtatious, most love-bombing individuals than married men. Married men are running amok. Why are you married, bro? Why? Leave, brother. Leave. Just leave. Just leave the whole relationship. Get the divorce, pay the alimony, whatever you gotta do, because you're up. The amount of DMs females, multiple females have shown me from married men is an extraordinary number. These men have families and kids, paying for other people's rent and vacations, saying the most non-married man shit you could say to another female. And I'm stunned. I'm honestly shocked. Part of me is impressed, because how do you hide a marriage that well? Some of these girls don't even find out you're married for like 2 years. Y'all out here starting completely different relationships with new people while being married. And my theory is married men are so good at shooting their shot because they already have somebody at home. There's really no loss. You could shoot and miss and just go back home and nobody's none the wiser. But the risk that you're taking if you do get caught is exponential, man. Now listen, I'm not usually astounded by a lot of shit, but the number of married men sliding into DMs astonished me. It should be studied. These men will go to exponential lengths just to get laid by somebody new, flying to different cities every weekend, buying or renting another house that's far away from where they live. It's either they have no social media or they got like 19 accounts. Some of these motherfuckers go James Bond with it and create up like a whole alias. Like you could have been dating Evan for 2 years and found out his name's actually Ryan. I don't agree with it, and I'm not saying it's right, but it is admirable that somebody's willing to put in that much work. The power of the P, man, it's crazy.
And I know this is what modern women like to say men are doing, but this is something that they're actually doing, is they have like a placeholder boyfriend where, you'll continue to keep a decent man around, a good man around as an emotional stabilizer while you continue to shop around. Oh, I need a man to tell my problems to. I need a man to talk to about X, Y, and Z. Right? So you'll keep that man around while continuing to look for, he's nicer and, he might not have the same emotional capacity, but it's good enough because he looks good. And then you'll throw that other man that's actually a good fit for you, or actually a good potential fit for you, to the side. Right? And so you'll have this man and you'll hold on to him for, in some of these situations, years, but if you kind of in a situationship with him is which I'll be defining it as, keep him around for 6-7 months, you still have your hinge active, right? I still got my hinge active, and when he asked me about what's going on, I really didn't know that you wanted me to be more than friends, when that man has talked to you about being exclusive multiple times. So now that and men will have this conversation with a woman multiple times. So now that we've had this conversation, I would expect that your hinge is deactivated. I would expect that you're not over here looking for options, talking about I'm unsure. He's not really, and that's not really even dating at that point in time. Well, I just need a roster. I just want a man to continue to audition while I look for something else. Oh, he's just a safety pick. Y'all keep on playing these games, man. Y'all keep on thinking y'all can keep on rotating these good men, these decent men in and out. Okay. I heard, I didn't actually watch the video, but I was looking at Pearl talk about Alex Cooper and how she actually got married to some, I guess he's conservative. I wasn't sure. I just looked at the title. I didn't really actually even watch the video. And if that's the case, she was saying, well, there's always going to be somebody. Yeah, maybe so. And you would hope that with all of that nonsense that Alex Cooper, from the few clips that I've heard her talking, you would hope that a lot of that nonsense dies down and she just go on, start acting right and stop acting silly. But a lot of these modern women don't. They get with these men and they think, okay, I'm just going to continue to do what I was doing. I'm going to continue to act like I'm acting, talk like I'm talking, and nothing's going to change until that man gets tired of it That man stopped responding. Well, I just had to divorce him because, you know, he wasn't the same man that I met. You know, it didn't really seem like he was responding to me anymore. Yeah, because you kept acting silly. You decided to pick that man decided to pick you, and you decided while he was making changes, I'm not going to make any changes. He needs to love me for me. Okay. All right. Don't you worry about it. This ain't got nothing to do with a gender war. This got everything to do with how you're going to live your life and the consequences and the decisions you're going to continue to make, and it's going to be in your best interest. And you're going to ruin that for yourself. Then you're going to be back online, and even though you might be able to spin the narrative that whatever you want to say, whatever happened, it's going to come down to when I'm at my house by myself. Nice house, pretty much get anything that I want. But I would like a husband, and I fumbled. Dang, why did I do that?
If someone never likes your posts but watches everything, it's not an accident. All right, I've noticed that on Instagram, engagement isn't really about interest, it's more about identity. Like, some people don't interact because interacting would require acknowledgement, and acknowledgement creates comparison, and then comparison threatens the story that they tell themselves. So they watch you quietly, they see every post, every win, every step forward, but for some reason they don't like, they don't comment, and they don't support. And it's not because they don't care necessarily, but it seems like they care too much in the wrong direction. And here's how you can kind of tell. What they'll do is they'll like and congratulate someone else doing the same exact thing you're doing. The same lane, the same progress, or sometimes the same milestones. Because that person doesn't trigger them, but you do. So like, your growth forces a mirror that they didn't ask for. It kind of like highlights their stalled effort, the plans that are removed, and the excuses that are getting exhausted, right? So instead of dealing with that discomfort, they disengage publicly and consume privately, which isn't like neutrality, it's just avoidance. So it's not always jealousy, sometimes it's insecurity, it could be resentment, or maybe the understanding that you did what they said they would. And that's kind of hard to clap for. But the takeaway isn't to like call them out. It's to understand the fact that growth rearranges relationships, visibility filters people, and silence is still a response. So watch their patterns because they never lie.
I think one of the wildest things that modern women are doing today is they're great at revising things. Revisionist history, where they'll rewrite like a normal breakup, a normal situation that would happen to anybody. They'll take that story and really like zhuzh it up. They'll really rewrite it and replay it and be like, oh, this is exactly what happened. It's like, oh man, you know, I survived and I was in complete survival mode. I never had a man to help me and all this other stuff, when it was just really a normal breakup. Like, y'all are going your separate ways. You decided, hey, this is the man that I want in my life. He was like, okay, well, I can't be that man, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go in a different direction. Love you. Thanks for the great times. And then you find out he's married or he's with somebody else, and all of a sudden, you know, he treated me terribly, and I guess he wasn't that bad if he could move on for me so fast. That type of nonsense. You're just single at 35. And I'm not going to say you haven't been a good person. I'm just saying that man done moved on. That man done moved on. You thought that man. A lot of these modern women are putting ultimatums out there. What they're trying to do is they're trying to manifest. They're trying to say, oh man, this is what I want. And in the moment, because they don't know what they're doing, they'll try to speak something or say something. They're like, oh, I'm just going to go out on a limb and say it. And sometimes that does work, right? Because you say something, your brain believes it. And so you start going in that direction. The only issue with that is you can't control somebody else. that other person still has free will. So while y'all are thinking, I'm just going to say it and he's going to do it, they're doing it in relationships too. Oh, I'm just going to say it. He don't even say it to him. I'm just going to say it into a room, into a mirror 50 times, and it's going to happen. He's going to chase me. He's going to yearn. He's going to come back. And when he don't, oh my God, you know, this man was narcissistic. He was an abusive person. You know, he never really liked me. And now I'm realizing at 35, none of my boyfriends ever actually liked me. That's not true. If you have 5 boyfriends, let's say 3 out of the 5 didn't actually like you. That still leaves you with 2 good men that actually cared for you, did the things that you asked them to do, but you decided, oh shoot, I want to pivot and go this channel. You know, everybody's making a point and everybody's making an issue about red pill and how it's radicalized my man and how my man ain't the same anymore and it destroyed my marriage. But when are we going to talk about the pivot? When are we going to talk about the pivot that these modern women take when they're listening to this nonsense on TV? Content by Shira 7, content by some of these other foolish, silly, idiotic dating coaches where they pivoted and they go, I understand, this is exactly what I expect. Yeah. And maybe you're not listening to a dating coach because, well, you know, I'm married and I really don't need that, or I'm in a relationship and I really don't need that. That same stuff that you're not listening to on TikTok is going to show up in the music. It's going to show up in the TV shows that you like. Well, I'm just watching it. You know, it's this really good show and I really don't see it. It's just a show. But that's showing up in your mindset and you're expecting your husband. Well, I want him to do that, man. I would like that. And you're dreaming about it and you're thinking about it. And you're expecting that man to do what they didn't written in the show. These people that you watching on the show don't even live in real life. These people that you watching on the show don't even have a spouse. They don't even have a spouse. And you sitting up there, well, my man, this, that, I wish he would do this, that. And if he don't do that, and I guess we ain't supposed to be writing your own narrative, creating your own narrative where there is none. It's a normal relationship. Get your head out of your behind.